Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 10th of August 2021. Goodness gracious, this month's really rattling by, isn't it? And for once today we've actually got some half decent weather out there. Sunshine, nice and warm, just what it should be during the summer really. Now yesterday I did a video about Thomas Sheridan, and I kind of linked to one of his videos below that video of mine, and I can't believe I've only just come across him only about 3 or 4 days ago, probably during the weekend just gone, and he just popped up in my YouTube feed out of nowhere. The title looked interesting, so I watched the video, and I've seen 3 or 4 of his videos now, and he seems like a great guy. And if you're interested, he's got another video out, the inspirational one that I showed you to in my last video. I think it was a couple of weeks old or something, but he's got another one which is only a couple of days old called Just Wait, and in that one he's talking about the same sort of thing, how this isn't going to last much longer. He reckons there'll be one big last lockdown probably in the autumn, and then that'll be it. Then everything will kind of just fade away after that, and I'm kind of in agreement with him about that, although I don't know if in this country, in the UK, there'll be any lockdowns. I mean, he's in Ireland, and yes, they've been having way worse time of things than even we've been. And I know I've got quite a few viewers from Ireland, and my heart really goes out for you. You've had the longest, hardest lockdown out of pretty much anywhere, I think, and they've got the old passport thing that they're just going insane about. Although sort of Thomas Sheridan, he was saying in this video that apparently anywhere that's insisting on that is just being boycotted. The great reopening in Ireland has just been a big flop, and it doesn't matter whether they're unV'd or V'd up. Everybody is just boycotting anywhere that is insisting on these passport things. But anyway, I digress. There might be another lockdown in Ireland, which he seems to think, but I don't know if it will happen in this country, in the UK. I think there's just too many angry people out there now, and if they dare to try that here, I don't think it would fly. I could be wrong, of course. We could get to the autumn and that may well happen, but I've kind of just got a feeling that it won't. And like he was saying, I think the whole thing will start to fade away. I'm really hoping so. He is also, as I say, coming out with this more inspirational stuff as well, how the likes of us can feel proud in times to come, that we sort of stood fast, stood firm, and he kind of goes on about that for quite a bit longer than he did in the other video from the other day. So I'll link to Just Wait by Thomas Sheridan in the description box below. And one other thing he said in that video was he doesn't really know whether he should feel sorry for all the people who have gone along with this and accepted the lockdowns and accepted all the sort of that business, or whether he should sort of feel angry with them. And I must say I'm a bit split personality as far as that's concerned as well. And on the one hand, and I'm not talking about people who have sort of felt coerced by it, I'm sort of talking about the absolute bedwetters who sort of wanted it from day one and really were sort of saying, oh no, sort of Johnson and his government should have locked down even earlier. They did it too late. They should have locked down even earlier than they did. Those kind of bedwetters is what I'm talking about here. And the thing is with them, on the one hand, they've been sort of psychologically manipulated, and it is a very real thing and it can happen, and if it's done right, it's done in the right way, it's highly effective, and people can succumb to that. And I don't know if you used to watch those Derren Brown shows from a few years ago, but in those he showed how easy it is to manipulate people if you can kind of prepare things in the right way beforehand. So it is a psychological attack, and they've fallen for it and been instilled with so much fear, which is why they're these kind of bedwetters out there who absolutely want and love the lockdowns and hate having to go back to normal. So on the one hand, I feel sorry for him, just like Thomas was saying. You've got to feel sorry for them in that regard. But then on the flip side of the coin, you just think, well, hang on a minute. If we had just all said no, on the 23rd of March 2020, when Johnson announced the first lockdown, if the next day we'd just all gone out to work as normal, kind of saying, "You, Johnson, you what? Are you having a laugh, mate? No way, I'm not staying at home for 3 weeks to flatten the curve, thank you very much. No, I'm going to work, thank you, pal. And I'm going to the pub after work, and I'm going to go to the restaurant at the weekend, and I'm going to sort of, not that we've got kids, but we've had kids, sort of take them to Thorpe Park at the weekend, and make sure they go to school during the week. And if you think we're looking down, you're having a laugh, mate." And if we'd all been like that, or not even all of us, maybe even not even a majority of us, but just a sizable minority, sort of 30, 40, ideally 50+%, had taken that attitude, just carried on as normal and just totally ignored the government, well, the whole thing would have collapsed by the end of that week, and the government would have just been completely embarrassed, and probably we'd have a new government by now, because they wouldn't have recovered from that. And don't say that that's an irresponsible attitude, because that's exactly what they did in Sweden. They just took sensible precautions, but just carried pretty much as normal. So, and they haven't had more of a problem than we had. So it's not irresponsible. Other countries have done it, and as I say, gotten away with it, or shown that it's not a problem. And we could have done that, but because of all these bedwetters out there, it didn't happen. We went into the first lockdown, 3 weeks to flatten the curve, which turned into 6 weeks, then 9 weeks, and then more lockdowns. And here we are, kind of 18 months later nearly, and we're still going crazy about it. And I can't help but feel angry for those people who, well, the way I look at it is I've had a year and a half of my life kind of stolen from me essentially. I've had a year and a half of not being able to do what I want to do, not being able to go where I want to go, not even much of a future. You can't plan for the future. You can't sort of say to yourself, right, well, I'll be doing this sort of at the end of the year or start of next year or next summer, because that kind of future forward-looking planning ability has been taken from us as well. And it's like, where are we going to sort of stop? Where is this going to finish? And then these people, these bedwetters, they want to steal my freedom away from me even more with these flipping passports, which I think they're flopping in a lot of countries. I saw some fantastic footage from Italy where people who had them, who obviously must have been double and to have the things, and they were all lining up to throw their sort of passes onto like a fire in solidarity with the and I thought that is fantastic. It looks like there's pushback against it in Ireland and obviously in France and all sorts of places, but there are people out there who want to inflict these things on us, and for people like me who no way on earth am I ever going to be having that, I'm looking like I'm going to have all my freedoms taken away. And you know, I've worked hard. I've worked hard sort of most of my life, all my life. I've worked hard. You know, things haven't been easy. I've sort of chosen a sort of a life of manual work, and you come home, muscles aching, sweaty, dirty, hard work all these years, and now it looks like there's a possibility that I won't be able to do what I want to do. Plus I've had this year and a half sort of stolen off me as well. So please excuse me if I sometimes feel angry towards these sort of bedwetters. Now, as I say, I'm not angry at people who have just felt coerced into going along with all the stuff, the various things that and the lockdowns, or sort of felt they had to do it to sort of do good for other people, or sort of for the good of the country or whatever. I'm talking about these absolute bedwetters who just want lockdowns for the sake of lockdowns and restrictions for the sake of restrictions. And as I say, you can't blame me for being angry at them. Sometimes I have my angry days with them, which is, well, obviously today is one of those days, and then other days, like I say, I feel more sorry for them. So split personality, I guess you'd call that, but yeah, that's the way I feel. Thought I'd get that off my chest today. I'll leave it there, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.